Old School Bodybuilding Clothing Company. If leg day was yesterday and now you're wondering why toilets are so damn low, you are definitely old school. If you're the only athlete at your gym that knows there's a contest today and it's to see who trains the hardest, you are old school. OSBBC.com for the hardest training athletes.
I'm Dave Palumbo, founder of Species Nutrition. From my earliest bodybuilding days, I believed in only putting the best in my body. And that lives on in the Species Nutrition line of products. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
You're funny.
It's like I said. Do you like my tail? Like I said.
Welcome back to Iron Rage. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm joined by Lee Priest. And Lee, it is pretty early over there, isn't it?
Yes, because we got rid of daylight saving, so our normal time would have been 5:30. So.
Oh,
yeah.
You guys ditched it? I know they want to do that over here.
Yeah. We did. Well, we already had it, but they've extended it. But now it's finished now because we're getting ready for winter. So it's finished now. So it finished on Easter, I guess, when Jesus rolled that stone away. He blocked out more sunlight. Who knows? Who knows what happened there?
You look like you have the light of heaven shining on you today. I don't know why you're glowing.
That's my. You know why I'm glowing? Because I had the vaccine yesterday.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'll be glowing in a few weeks when I get my radioactive iodine.
I think I've still got. Oh, I've still got the thing on my arm.
Oh, the little Band-Aid?
Yeah. Now I got to. Oh fuck! Look what it's done to my arm.
Wow, you grew. It's anabolic. We didn't know that.
Wow.
If you want to get all the bodybuilders to take it, just tell them that there's some myostatin inhibition in there, and they'll take it.
That's true, but I have to comment because after our last show, I was reading some of the comments because I like to, give it back to some of them. So many were like, I can't believe Lee's getting the vaccine. I thought he was a man. He didn't care if there's no COVID, why would he get it? Now, listen carefully. I never said there was no COVID. I said COVID was no worse than a bad flu. But it's like, say you're my sponsor, Dave, like my sponsor, Aaron. I've got to go to Spain and UK. Got to go to Spain, July, and then UK a bit after that. And then another trip back to Spain. Now, would you like to pay $3,000 for every 2 weeks I come home and quarantine? Or I just go get a needle. That's free. I went in. Took less than 5 minutes. I got the needle in the arm, and then they put you in this room, right? So here I am with these old people where you got to wait 15 minutes after the shot. And I'm sitting there like this. I said, "This is where we wait to what happens?" And I waited like 5 minutes. Everyone's in there quiet. Then I start doing this. Let's just say some of the old people didn't find that funny, but I did. What's that?
It's like you remember when you took your first anabolic steroid injection, you were like waiting the next day, you had the best workout of your life.
I know, but the funny thing is, right, so all these people are saying, well, why did they get it? So you don't have to pay $3,000 for 2 weeks, so I don't have to be just an hour from home and sit in a hotel for 14 bloody days.
Right.
So yes, I don't believe this whole coronavirus hysteria, but yes, okay, I've never had a flu shot, so to me, like I said, the coronavirus to me is just like a bad version of the flu. So it's just like getting the flu shot. Yeah. But now on my phone, when I do travel, it'll show that I've been immunized. So if it look, when I'm traveling, because right now for me to go to Spain, because there's different flights and shit, some of the flights I have to go the long way. I think I might have mentioned it before. I've got to go like here, maybe to LA, New York, England.
No way.
Spain,
oh my God. Holy shit.
Which is like 50 hours of flying. So listen, if I can have a little thing saying I've been vaccinated to make my trip easier, I'm going to fucking get it.
It's like it's like, what do they, I can't even remember, but I got that speed pass. You go on the fast track line where you've been, security's cleared you ahead of time,
Uh-huh. I know. And look how much fun that is when you see the big line up and you get the fast track and you're like zip, and you're straight through.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you stand there. Look, I know when you come home from Australia, we get a lot of tourists here, foreign tourists who can't read the fucking signs. And then they And it just takes twice as long because they get up there, then they haven't filled the card out, then they're trying to fill the card
Yeah, I
out,
know.
then they're in the wrong lane, understand, like, oh, come on, I've been on a plane for 40 hours or so traveling, just fucking do something. It's like, yeah, so to all these naysayers are like, well, I'm not going to follow Lee anymore because he's a sheep, he got the vaccine. And then again, it's like I've said, I go get the vaccine, it didn't hurt, I get it done, I got to get the other one because it's an AstraZeneca one. That's the one I got, AstraZeneca. The one that causes the blood clots too, by the way.
Right.
So I'm okay now. Let's just hope in a couple of days I'll be taking aspirin just in case.
Yeah.
But so I take that, and like I said, these are the same idiots who go to Mexico or who go to the boot of somebody's car. What do you got? I got this, I got that. They put Trenbolone in themselves. Guess what? When I had the vaccine yesterday, I wasn't going. So what's worse? And then, I don't know if you, back in the day when you buy black market steroids, you'd sometimes get them. I wouldn't even have a fucking label on the bottle. It'd just be a glass bottle full of oil.
When I go for my vaccine, if I ever go, I'm gonna bring like a test kit. I'm gonna be like, can I get a drop of that vaccine? I want to make sure that you guys are not giving me counterfeit vaccine.
Exactly, but how many times have we used to buy steroids on the black market? It was just like oil in a bottle. And half the time it was probably cooking oil. But yet this is the mentality of bodybuilders. We hate you, Lee, getting the vaccine, but they'll go to the local steroid dealer next week, grab a whole heap of shit out of his trunk and just start injecting it. Like I said, I had a shot of Winstrol once and it got infected. They had to cut my arm open to think because I thought it might have been infected, but it wasn't, but they still cut my arm open. So trust me, if you're putting steroids in your body, if you're sitting there drinking, doing party drugs, smoking, all these other shit, shut the fuck up about the vaccine.
Right.
I'm not putting that in my body. That's poison. Or give me some insulin. Quick. Give me some of this. Oh, yeah, fucking take that. Where'd that come from? Oh, Johnny makes it in his bathtub at home. It's been tested. Fucking idiots.
I got a better one. There's a story out now, and I don't know if it's real. I'm pretty sure it looks like it's real. Supposedly in the Philippines, they have a curfew, like a 6 p.m. curfew, and this guy went out to buy water past the curfew. He's a 28-year-old guy, and so they made him go to town square there, and actually they made him do squats. They made him do 300 squats. I think the original thing was you had to do 100 squats because it was him and another guy. If they were not synchronized perfectly, then they would have to start over and do another 100. So they did 300 squats. The one guy went home, and supposedly that night he could barely walk. He was crawling around. He had a seizure, and then he had a heart attack and died. Now, it's not funny, actually, if it's true, but what do you think about this? And then when they asked the actual guy, the head of the police there, they said, oh, we would never do that. We only give lectures when people stay out late. So I don't know. The whole story sounds wacky, but can you imagine doing the 300 squats and dropping dead?
As the Philippines, maybe he got some bad dog off the street, went home, cooked it up and got food poisoning and ate it. Who knows?
Possible.
But here's the thing, maybe, because I know when we have our little lockdowns, like Brisbane went into lockdown last week for 3 days, you know how you're allowed out for essential stuff to go to the grocery store or to exercise? Maybe Philippines is the same. And they said, what are you doing out after curfew? Maybe he says, I'm exercising. So the policeman said, well, prove it. Do some squats. So and the thing is, I could understand if you're not really into exercising a lot. I can see how that could happen because when I first trained with Tom Platz. This was back at Redondo Beach Golds. I'm thinking, okay, today's my first session with Tom Platz, and of course it's legs.
Yeah.
So we're doing 5 plates a side, 20 rep stuff, and then he'd be hold it static. It's like doing a Chris Lund photo shoot where you got to go halfway down and hold it, which is worse than doing the exercise.
And the difference is that Tom can squat 5 plates for Tom was like a 135 for most people.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was doing the 20 reps with the 5 plates. We did 5 or 6 sets of that. Then we went to the hack squats, would burn out. But then once we burn out, I'd go to the bottom and make me bring it halfway. Wow. And I'd have to hold it halfway till your legs are trembling. And then when your legs are trembling, he'd start pulling on it, pulling it down. And he's like, now resist. And I had to push up. And then we did extensions. You'd go till you couldn't do any more. Then he'll give you some assisted ones. And then when you couldn't do any more assisted ones, he'd help you up with it. You'd have to hold it, and he'd be pushing down on. So this
force negatives are terrible. They're very traumatic. Yeah,
it feels like that hot knife just being cut up through your leg. But because I'm with Tom first, they work out. I'm showing no pain at all. I'm like, fuck this. After the leg workout, we walk down the front steps. golds and I'm dancing. I'm like, yeah, that was great. He's like, oh, you're a machine. He goes, I wouldn't even be able to walk out after that. I said, it's okay, you know. So I'm acting all cool. We went across to, I think Ruby's Diner was across the way. We went, ate Ruby's, went home. It wasn't too bad. Went to sleep. 1 o'clock, I woke up, and trust me, I thought I was having a heart attack. My central nervous system was at shot. My heart was pounding. I was like, oh my God, the whole body was like going into shock.
Yeah.
So I could see how that could probably happen if,
especially if you don't work out and then you do 300. I mean, air squats, I don't seem like that hard, but maybe if you don't do them at all, I mean, I guess it could be traumatizing.
I used to finish on like body weight squats. Like if I did my normal leg workout, I'd do like a static hold where, you know, you just sit against the wall and pretend you're sitting there and hold it for like as long as I could.
That's
I'd have
hard.
contests with my friends. And then when we finished that, we'd get up and just fold our arms and just do body weight squats, just to the point where you're not at the top, so the tension's always there.
Yeah.
And just pump them out. And I mean, they would just kill with your body weight, just that constant up and down, up and down. So
Death.
So
You know, I always said that, you know, maybe this is too extreme, but I always said that, you know what, I'd rather put people through, you know, when you're a kid, you know, and you're in gym class, you don't listen, or you coach, you don't listen, he makes you run a lap, or they make you do 100 push-ups or 10 push-ups or whatever it is. I always thought that was good discipline, you know, for kids and stuff like that, to do exercise like that. Evidently, there's a lot of people out of shape in this world, because a 28-year-old guy doing a couple sets of squat, you know, 100, 300 squats, doesn't sound like it should put him into the coffin, you know, but you never know, I guess.
maybe he went home after that and thought he needed something to relax and OD'd on.
It's possible.
You know?
It does sound a little suspicious, the whole story, to me.
Especially, like I said, if you're that young, you could see if it was like an older person. It's like when Viagra come out and they took Viagra, those old people, and they got the heart pumping. They went to town on the missus like a porn star and had a heart attack that night. So it was like maybe it was something like that where it was just too much.
Who knows?
But yeah. Also, too, I got another thing to rage about, but. You know, you go around and, how many times do I see these natty or not fucking things pop up? Natty or not. And I like the guy, what's it, Derek from More Plates, No Dates, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He did one on Frank Carrillo, you know, the actor.
Yes.
I like him because he follows me on Instagram.
Yeah, I noticed he did. I was going to ask you about that. I saw he's following you on Instagram.
Thanks,
and commenting on your posts.
Yeah, because I like his movies and stuff. And like, he's 55, and now they did one on him yesterday discussing is he natty or not. The guy's 55. He's in good shape. And what people don't understand is these guys look bigger on screen. I remember when Van Damme would come into the gym, he was lean as anything, but on the screen he looked so much bigger. So why is it now that there's discussions on natty or not? How about we do a show on hard work, consistency over 30 years of training, being dedicated, eating clean, busting your ass. How about you do one on that called dedication or not? Because these days it's like everyone, if I can't do it naturally, well, he's got to be on drugs. If I can't do it and I train, well, he's got to be taking this. It's like this whole natty or not, it should be jealous or not. That should be the fucking topic, because how long's the one with Michael Hearn been going on?
I was just going to say, they've been saying they've been questioning whether he's natural or not, but you know what? I challenge you to find someone who might train harder than Mike O'Hearn on a regular basis, like he does. The guy gets to the gym at like 4 a.m. and he's doing like
and the thing is,
700-pound squats, you know.
And the thing with Mike is too, because you've known him from the years of being at Golds, even back in the 90s and shit. It's not like Mike has gone from this to massively freaky big. He's been consistent the whole time. Like, yes, he gets in shape and then when he gets in shape, people are like, oh, he's on drugs now. But I've had friends who are totally natural. You know, like if someone's lean, they look so much bigger, that illusion of the muscle.
Yeah.
I've had friends who look like greyhounds. They're thin, but they're ripped. People are like, he's on steroids. I'm like, no, he's not. He's just on a diet. He's training hard.
Right.
He's never taken anything, but because he has that lean look. And Mike O'Hearn, when he was young, he's pretty much been consistent. It's not like he's gone from, say, how he is now to all of a sudden he's like Rami. You're like, oh, fuck, look, he's going on drugs. It's like, the whole thing's like these jealousy people. It's like, oh my God, it's like, get over it. Just because you can't do it.
It's like you have to be like apologetic for looking too good. You know, it's like when I first started, I was natural, you know, for many years. And I wasn't, you know, and in a tank top in the gym, I was impressive looking because I was so ripped, like you said. But I wasn't huge. I was probably, you know, 210 pounds, you know. But everyone thought I was taking steroids because I was so lean. I had veiny arms, just like I do now. I mean, my arms are veiny. I'm not on anything, but
Yeah.
that in people's minds, they couldn't achieve that level of leanness, so they had to attribute it to like, oh, he must be on drugs, you know.
Exactly. Well, I put up those pictures of me on Instagram only last week, where one I was 15 years old, the other two I was 18, and that. Were you juicing here? When did you start juicing? I said, I told you when I started juicing at 19 before I turned pro. From 13 to my beginning of 19, I was clean. But yet, like you said, their mentalities, well, I go to the gym, I train, I'm doing this. Why don't I look like him? He's got to be taking drugs.
Yeah.
Then it's the same ones, too, who abuse the drugs and take a couple of grams. So when they ask you or someone, what do you take? If you say, I take 600-700, bullshit, because I'm taking 3 grams. I don't look like you. You're bigger, so you've got to be taking more. You know, it's that whole stupid mentality. It's like crazy.
Those guys at the gym who are the people who are like accusing you and who are jealous and everything like that, I don't know of one person at the gym who I've ever heard like, you know, foo-fooing someone else who's ever been like on that strict regimen where they never miss. Like those are the guys that miss meals. They go out on the weekends drinking. They go partying. They can't go to the gym because they have to go to their relative's house. They can't eat properly on Sunday because they have to go out to dinner and cheat the whole day. I never had an excuse. I was a neurotic. I probably annoyed the crap out of my relatives because I never deviated. And so, you know, then they want to know why I look so, you know, why I'm so lean. Well, you know what? If you put that level of dedication into what you do, you'd be that lean too, you know?
One day we'll have to get my mum on the podcast because she can tell you stories that our holidays were based around when we went on holidays. There had to be a gym or somewhere there, or I'd pack up the car. I'd pack the caravan with my home gym. I'd make sure I'd squash the bench in.
Did you really?
You know,
oh my
God.
I'd
take the weights with me. My mum said wherever we went on holidays, there had to be a gym, or Lee would bring his weights along, and he had to do the weights in the morning before we went anywhere.
That's
or did
awesome.
Anything. So
the funny thing is, your mom was probably doing it with you, right?
Not in the beginning, but later on she was. My grandfather would always do it with me because he was always up early walking and exercising. But yeah, and I can't even remember. It's like you said, the consistency too. I can't even remember a day that I never saw Mike in the gym, unless he was away guest posing.
Right.
But that's what they don't get. These guys do it day after day. Like you said, you don't miss meals. You're training consistent all the time. You're just like, but they can't fathom that. And they might say, well, I do that, for a month. Do it for 12 months, then 10 years.
10 years, like try 10 years, exactly.
Because I mentioned how I've been training, 35 years or so now. And if I add it up, you know, when you travel around the world, there's a day traveling, you miss training. But when I get somewhere, I train or whatever, or you've been sick in hospital. If I added up every day that I've had off from injury or traveling, I reckon it probably total 6 to 8 months in days total in that 35 years. So it's like, but they don't comprehend that. I go, I didn't get it. But I did write back to Frank because I sent Frank the link, and Frank just wrote idiots. Something like that. He wrote back laughing. But I did say, Frank, RX Muscle, longest running podcast on the thing. If you ever want to come on and talk about your training and diet regimen, come on.
Let's get him. Absolutely. You know what the funny thing is? You made a good point. When I would get off an airplane, if I was traveling somewhere, like for guest posing or going to a show to cover the show or watch the show, or no matter what, the first thing I asked the person who picked me up at the airport was, "Where's the gym?" You know, and that's how my brain worked. It wasn't like, "Oh, let's go see the Eiffel Tower," or let's you know, let's go have an ice cream sundae. I was like, all right, I got to get to the gym. I don't know what time you want to go. All right, we'll go at 6 o'clock. All right, let's go eat now. Then we'll go to the gym. That's how you have to think if you want to be the best, you know.
And the thing was, too, once you've done your gym, then it's like your day can start and begin. But if you don't do it, you just feel shit the whole day. And then if you're out doing stuff, you're like, oh, I still got to go to the gym later. I've got to go to the gym later. You do it straight away. Or also, too, like I would always try and get a hotel that had a decent-sized gym, even if it just had a multi-station. I could get up early in the morning and go down and get a good squeeze on like the Universal multi-stations or stuff like that. If worse come to worse, I'd always, for backup, have one of those things of all those rubber bands where you got the handle attachments. Yeah. I could do that in the room if I got up early with push-ups and stuff in the room. So
this is true story. Remember when the Olympia used to be at the Mandalay Bay?
Yeah.
Well, I used to stay, I wouldn't stay at the Mandalay Bay. I would stay at the Luxor because the Luxor had a full gym. A lot of people didn't know that. It still does. And the reason was that Chris Angel, whose show used to be at the Luxor, he lived in the Luxor for many, many years. He lived at like one of the penthouse suites. And he demanded that they have a gym because he wanted to work out. So they built this great gym in the Luxor. And so if you went down there, better than any other hotel, they had everything you needed, free weights and everything. So I would stay in the Luxor just so I can go there, and then I'd walk through that long walkway. It was like a half a mile of this walkway, and then you'd be in the Mandalay Bay. And that was the only reason I didn't stay in the. It had nothing to do with money or anything like that. It was that the gym was there, and they also had a McDonald's. They also had a McDonald's in the Luxor too, which I liked.
And where they're all connected to Circus had Krispy Kreme and all that. So I used to actually stay down for the same reason down at the Hilton Grand Vacation Suites because they had a good gym downstairs.
Oh, they did? I didn't even know that. Yeah.
Yeah, but also there was like a set-up apartment, so you had like a room or two rooms. You had a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
You had a full kitchen, so I'd always stay there because you had the full kitchen.
Right.
I could do my laundry when I got fucking tan on my clothes and shit like that. So I preferred to stay there, and then I'd just give my room at the Mandalay to one of my friends or something. And I'd look, if anyone called, just take a message for me. And then before and after prejudging, I'd just go back and relax at the room. But I'd stay down the road because that way, because remember, you weren't allowed to cook there, and so many people would get caught. They'd bring hot plates into their room.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
They'd be setting off smoke alarms and smoke detectors. People walking down the hallway, you're like,
well, you know what it is? People don't realize in Vegas, you think, wow, there's a million gyms in Vegas, but it's not so easy to go down to the hotel, get the concierge to bring your car around. Then you first have to drive through the traffic to the gym, train, come back. Meanwhile, that's a 3 and 4 hour, chunk of your day you lost.
Yeah, and I think back then everyone was going to the Golds down on Flamingo, which was like a little bit of a drive down that way. And the worst thing about training in the Golds Flamingo was you looked out the window and there was that Blueberry Pancake House straight out the window.
Blueberry Hill or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's all you'd stare at while you're training, going, how many more days to the show? How many more days?
And also, if you guys like sushi, on that same road on Flamingo, there was Yama Sushi, which was all you can eat for like $20 or something like that, So.
Yeah. I guess if you're a fag, that's where you went to eat sushi. Who eats sushi? Jeez, when this bodybuilding craze started with sushi,
I love sushi.
You're paying that much money for fish and rice. It's like ridiculous. It's like when the Nutella craze came out. It was like bodybuilders just discovered Nutella. Oh, look, I got Nutella. It's like, how ridiculous.
I will say this, though. The best I ever looked, when Per Bernal shot me after, a friend of mine just reminded me, and I didn't even know he was with my friend Coop. After the 2003 USA, I think it was 03, we went out to whatever after party there was and stayed out all night. And about 6 in the morning, I had a photo shoot about 8:30 or 9. So 6:30 in the morning, I was coming back with my friend Coop. I was going to drop him at his hotel. He was going to go to sleep. I needed food because I hadn't eaten all night, and I competed the day before. So we went to McDonald's, and I got, he reminded me, like 5 Egg McMuffins. And I was just... I was devouring them. I was so hungry. And dropped him off. I went back to my hotel, showered, got back in the car, went back to Gold's on Flamingo, like you said, right on that same road. And it was the best I ever looked. I had veins popping. I looked like a retarded. I hadn't slept at all. But that McDonald's Egg McMuffin combined with being out all night, sweating my brains out, I just, for some reason, it piqued my... It was the Chris Cormier method. I piqued myself perfectly for that photo shoot.
Well, sometimes it works that way, too. Because I said I'd done it before shows, before the Night of Champions. I went to the Beacon little diner beside the hotel and just ate shit the night before, didn't drink, and I looked the best I ever looked. So it's just more of a mental thing when you do it before the show. After the show, you're a bit more relaxed and you can put it in there. But sushi, Dave, that's like, I don't get it. I'm finished dieting. Let me go eat some more.
You know why I like sushi? I'll tell you why I like it. Because you can't go and like buy it and eat it in your house. It's like something you have. That's why I like Chinese food too. Because you got to go out. You can't make it yourself. It never tastes the same if you try.
No, because you don't have the MSG and all the ad libs.
Yeah, whatever I don't know what they put in it. For some reason, the Chinese people can make steamed chicken, and it doesn't taste anything like the steamed chicken you would make at home, right?
Yeah, because you use chicken, they use cat.
Oh, is that what I got? You? I understand. All right.
Siamese is a sweeter taste than a tabby. So
whatever animal they're sauteing over there, it tastes delicious. And it is white meat, and that's all I care about.
This is what I don't understand too. I was at the supermarket the other day, and there was these people beside me, and they were looking at all that. What's that, like meat substitute? It's got different names. There's
Spam and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're listening to them because I'm getting out. They got these core meals here, which are actually good meals for protein, and that it's all like those type of healthy meals. So I was getting some of them. They're on sale. And I'm listening to these people like, oh, you should get this one, that one. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that tastes like meat patties, that one. Yeah, this one. I'm thinking, how would you fucking know? It's like, just because it says it on the box. It's like, if you're vegetarian and you hate the taste of meat or you don't want to eat meat for some reason, how do you know it tastes like meat?
Yeah,
right. I'm thinking, what the hell are they going on about? So
those vegetarian meals, I actually like the taste of some of them. They got so many different preservatives and weird shit in there. Vegetarians will eat anything but animal products, but they'll put chemicals in their body. Not all of them, but a lot of them will eat the worst crap. You know, potato chips and all kinds of crap like that.
What's in that fake and stuff that's meant to taste like bacon? You know, that's just full of chemicals.
Oh, of course it is.
But don't get the vaccine because that might kill you.
Might kill you, yeah.
I can't believe it's not butter. I used to love that, but I'm thinking this is probably just so many
it's chemicals. It's the worst fatty acid source of all time for you. Yeah, it'll clog your arteries like worse than butter will. Absolutely. Which butter won't even clog your arteries. You know what? I don't know if you've ever tried. Have you ever tried grass-fed butter? I don't know if they have that in Australia. No. Yeah, they feed the cows eat only grass, so the butter, the fats have good omega-3 fats in them, and it's actually pretty good for you.
We do have it here, but I haven't had it.
Try it. I mean, it's actually good to add into your diet because a lot of us we eat so clean we don't eat enough saturated fats, and so the saturates are good in there. Plus, you got the omega-3s in there as well, and I don't use a lot of it, but I'll put it on like some some Ezekiel bread or some toasted bagel.
When I used to train with Tom Platts, he'd always have butter, wouldn't have margarine. He'd always have proper butter.
Yep.
Instead of chicken breast, he'd have chicken wings because, he said it would take a lot longer to digest and you'd sort of eat slower because you're picking at the chicken wings. Yeah. And for breakfast, he'd always have like 2 bits of bacon and stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, he was a believer in fats, You need to eat some fats in that.
I'd go to his place for breakfast and get bacon and eggs and butter on toast before we go train and stuff like that. It was like when I went to Florida, I had alligator. It looked like chicken fingers.
Yeah.
And it did taste like chicken. So this is another thing I don't understand.
A little chewy.
Alligator tastes like chicken. They say snake tastes like chicken, but alligator and snake and all these rare things you pay double the price for. So if it tastes like chicken, eat fucking chicken. It's cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now we got a lot of pythons down here, so I'm sure that you can eat as much python meat as you want because.
Well, here in Australia, a lot of the fish and chip shops, when you go get fish and chips, it's shark because shark's a lot cheaper and stuff.
I didn't even know that.
Shark.
What kind of shark are you eating? Mako shark?
I don't know. It could be a grey nurse. I couldn't tell if she had a hat on still from the hospital. Or...
All right, I got to wrap this up.
As Great White being banned yet, I'm not sure.
They probably will change the name to.
Hey, I got a new mask. I want to show you this mask. It's not a bad one. Hold on, look at this one.
It looks black. I'm getting a little nervous. I got to tell you.
No. It's got black on it, but it's not black. I better take my glasses off. Here we go.
Take your Chris Cedar glasses off.
I love Sub-Zero.
I like that mask.
Mortal Kombat.
I like it a lot. For some reason, I don't know why, you look like Jimmy the Bull in that mask, doesn't he? I don't know what it is.
The eyebrows?
Maybe the head and the eyebrows.
Here. These fucking hot dog truck wasn't there. I'm going around there on the fucking weekend. No fucking hot dog truck. Fucking Sub-Zero couldn't even get a fucking hot dog. Fucking 3 p.m. and no fucking hot dogs. Jesus Christ, no wonder his business is going out. Fuck!
And on that note, I'm Dave Palumbo with Lee Priest for another installment of Iron Rage. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Lee. Good one.